Hey people, this is the Mercenary. It's kind of cold up in here right now, so if you hear that motor running in the background, that's my heater. But aside from that, I'm going to talk about this Trials version Son Goku that I got at the Buildcon for a moment, before talking about the 1 to 1/44th scale No Grade 8 RX-78-02 Build Experience version. Now, about this Goku, there's technically no correction stickers on here. It does come with a few stickers, but they're mostly decals, as you can see here. The big ones for the back side, the small ones for the front side. This is to tell us that Goku is from the Turtle School in the story. Well, if you've seen Goku fighting in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, sometimes he has these on his fighting outfit. But I decided not to apply them to my Goku because I remember Goku fighting in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z without them as his own fighter. Now, for articulation, he has a bit of waist articulation. You could do the poltergeist twist. He does have foot articulation, full 360 roundabout articulation, but I'm not going to mess with it too much because I want him standing like that. Now, if I messed around with it too much, he wouldn't be standing. But since I was able to angle the feet correctly, he's able to stand on a surface without having to rely on some sort of action base 4 connector piece. But anyway, he does have some fist articulation, some arm articulation, and of course he can move his head up and down, and does the poltergeist 360 roundabout. Now, about the eyes, Goku's eyes, usually those would be sticker pieces. I didn't mean sticker pieces. Those would usually be stickers when you're constructing any model kit like this. That's from Bandai. But cleverly, they were able to hide the fact that these are not stickers and it's just a bunch of plastic pieces. What they want you to do is they want you to cut the white eye pieces and connect it to the black pupil pieces that are on the head before constructing the rest of the head. My apologies if I sound, like I've lost something or something. Anyway, there's just not a lot to say about this Son Goku Trials version. It's technically a no-grade kit. Excellent for anybody trying to get into the craft of model building or even figurine crafting. Solid. It's solid. You can hand this to a 5-year-old to go throw around his room. And also, it doesn't cost anything as long as you go to the event and pay the stupid entry fee. This is the back side. There's just not much to see there. Now, this was one of two choices you could have gotten at Buildcon when you were getting a complimentary kit. But I was luckily able to get this, excuse me, as I was saying, I was able to get this kit. As you can see there, that's what happens when I mess with the foot. But as I was saying, before Goku decided to topple over, you had a choice between this kit and this kit. The 1/144th RX-78-02 Build Experience version, No Grade. Now that I'm done talking about Goku, I'm gonna set him aside for a little bit. Out of screen. Now, as I was saying, this is No Grade. This is No Grade RX-78-2, 1/144th scale, No Grade. This is a little bit better than the original one from the 1980s and all its other iterations since the very first RX-78 model was released way back in those days. Now, about this particular kit, the beam sabers, like the original kit from the 1980s, since this is a No Grade, it does not have detachable beam sabers. The reason why it does not come with detachable beam sabers is because they don't think you're really going to use the beam sabers, for one, and second, they know that people who just want to build it do not want to put up with the excess pieces, as they want to give you a good experience rather than have you deal with a bunch of parts that you really don't want to use. Comes with one beam rifle. As you can see here, there's no articulation in the scope. It's just one big piece of plastic. You just cut off the runner, clean it up a little bit, and you got a rifle. It has some articulation, elbow bands, usual arm articulation, some head articulation but cannot raise its head, some leg articulation, but not a lot. Oh, and the side skirts cannot move, as this is a No Grade. Now, this did come with some stickers for both the eyes and the crotch piece, but the problem is that stickers were garbage when I was applying them, so what I did was I detailed those out with a bunch of Sharpies. And luckily, there was a V part on that crotch piece. Usually, they would just give us a solid straight piece and then have you apply the sticker there. But since there was a V, what I did was I busted out the red Sharpie and detailed that part out the best I could, in addition to all the other parts to bring out all the finer details. Now, this RX-78 can hold the rifle in its left hand. Pretty solid for a No Grade that you get as a complimentary kit. There's just not much to the hand. Luckily, the hands are solid. Usually No Grade like this can't barely hold its weapons. and I'm kind of impressed by this No Grade for how it came out. And last of all, it can stand on its own 2 feet, in addition to pulling off some poses. Oh, and I almost forgot, it does have an action base connector on the very bottom of the torso. So if you got one of those peg connectors from Action Base 2, Action Base 1, and I believe Action Base 3 or something, you can place this RX-78 on Action Base and get some aerial poses. But since this is just meant to get you started, it's not going to have all the fancy gimmicks that I'm familiar with a Master Grade, where you can pull out the top side of the RX-78 and reveal the core fighter. You're not going to get it with this No Grade if you want to be source material accurate. This is just for new people getting into the craft to go mess around with this kit and get some sort of experience in building a Bandai model kit, whether it's Gundam or not. So, as I was saying, at the Buildcon, they had 2 types of kits you can choose from for complimentary kits. This RX-78 and this Son Goku. Both are No Grades, and both are 1 to 1/44 scale. Now, usually you were only given the choice to choose one or the other, but since I went at 2 separate times, I was able to get both. Well, one of each to be exact. When I went through the line the first go around, I picked up the RX-78, which I knew I was going to build later. Yeah, I was going to build this later. Thankfully, I did build it later when I was at home, but when I was at the event, I just picked this thing up so I can do a video on it later when I had more battery in my camera. And the other choice was the Son Goku. So if you had young kids and they wanted to put together a model kit, they had 2 choices. Most likely the kids would have chosen Goku over the Granddaddy Gundam. But then again, they could have chosen the Granddaddy Gundam because this was a dedicated Gundam event. Yeah, Gunpla event. As for what I'm going to do with these models later, I personally don't know, as my shelf space, I'm running out of shelf space right now. I'm not going to say too much about the gist of all of it. But I think that's pretty much it about these 2 particular No Grades. As for the Granddaddy Gundam, I'm most likely gonna put it back in storage, as it's gonna kind of look really awkward with all my Master Grades surrounding it. Aside from that, now that I've told you what to expect from these 2 particular kits and what type of articulation it has, and if there were any said stickers that came with each respective kit, I am going to go log out and go get me some breakfast. This is the Mercenary, and I will be logging out.